What is the biggest problem do you think is facing the Worcester Public School at this moment, in your opinion, regardless of anything you've seen at?
I would have to say the fact that we are not looking at a lot of the issues that we talk about, like the truancy, like racial disparities. We're not looking at that, or the homeless population here in the city. We're not looking at that through a public health lens. It's just like bits and pieces and things.
So that's your background. You have a public health background. How do you think that will be beneficial? And you just mentioned a few problems, homeless being one of them. How do you think you could, what recommendations do you have regarding those problems? And how will you tackle them? So
there are opportunities out there, and I think that we need, for having a background in public health, definitely I would bring those knowledge that I have. Also talking about the truancy in the schools and disciplinary issues. That is kind of more so just impacting the Black and brown community. We have to see that as a public health issue, because when students are not physically, of the right mindset to be in school, or when students come from backgrounds low-income backgrounds where the family don't speak the language, or the family is a first generation, they're the only ones in the school that is going through all of this, right? It has a lot to do on a human mindset, right? Let alone talking about academic work.
Do you think that Worcester Public School is in a way traumatizing these kids, or because you just mentioned how we're expecting to do the academic work, but we're not thinking about all the other factors that come into play and why certain children cannot do that work.
Are we traumatizing kids? That's a load. I definitely think that we can do better in terms of how we cater to students from diverse backgrounds, and we have to take a lot into consideration, and we have to learn about the backgrounds of the students that we are reaching, and we have to have people in the schools that can understand our kids, and we need to do better in terms of getting more diverse faculty and teachers, and training white teachers.
So my next question following that up, it's like, if you're elected and with the current makeup of the school committee, let's say you are elected, how do you plan to get some of those recommendations, to have a progression with those recommendations when it will kind of stay the same than what it is now?
I don't think that one person can do everything, or 6 people in a committee, or a superintendent. What I can do when I'm elected is forming a partnership with all of the coalitions and communities and people that service these niche. I'm from Africa. I represent that population. My story is different from the Latino story, even though we have there's a lot of crossover. But at the end of the day, though, one person cannot speak for everyone. So that's why I definitely believe getting the support from all of the different groups here in Worcester. It's not certain that our community is going to come out unless we, the candidates, engage them, unless all of us here that care about the kids in the public school come out and engage our community.
Can you think of at least why the community has not been engaged in any kind of significant way for the past years or decade?
Worcester has, we had the same leadership for a very long time. And when I live in other cities, like in Rhode Island or even in New York, right, I knew what was going on. The folks who are in power in these areas that I lived, they emphasize on community engagement. I don't see so much here in Worcester. I don't see a commitment. I think we can do much more than what we're doing.
What is your plan, if elected, to kind of stay the course? And because we have a retention problem not only in the Worcester Public Schools, but any kind of public office or big picture positions of leadership, where we get great candidates who know their stuff, that knows how to work the community, but they don't stay. What do you think that is, and what plan do you have if elected?
So as an example, are you talking about the recent school committee, or?
We can tie it to that, but I feel it's just like an overall problem that we have right here.
We're not so much welcoming. When you have people who have other ideologies, it's hard to fit into a system that is not of that same mentality. What we can do going forward as a community is engaging all of us. We need to show that Worcester is a vibrant city, not just putting paintings and murals on buildings, right? Not just doing that. We need to show that we are here. With that, once we have these things put in place, I think it will be likely that a person of diversity will be able to stay in a public office.
So you think it's both like a community from the top? I mean, from the top leadership, and also a community that fails to be engaged or stay engaged?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we need to wake up. We need to light the fire and wake up. So it looks like school committee is the avenue for that.
Do you think this is like a starting point of something?
I believe so. I feel it. I think that, you know, we're onto something here in Worcester. We cannot sit aside and allow people to push the agenda on a city where we're all a part of.
So my last question is, what is your vision for the Worcester Public Schools?
So
if you have an idea, like an ideal, and you can get all the resources, what is your vision?
my vision is for students in the public schools to use the resources, find people who can help them one way or the other get to where they want to go. So we cannot allow these disparities to hold us behind. And from what I've been seeing, that's what it is in our community. So many of our kids are being held behind or dropping out of, you know, school for one reason or the other.
So you think
Zena,
they're
ever
like
give up?
excuses that they give themselves?
There's so many things. I don't want to say excuses because that word is just, it means that the person is not responsible, and I don't like that. There's so many nature that comes into play. Sometimes it's outside forces that will compel a person to, you know, drop out or not stay the course. But what I will say that no matter what it is, don't ever give up. Stand up strong and don't ever give up. On the hand of the school committee and all of the leaders here in Worcester is to make ourselves available, make ourselves present, so that kids can reach out to us when they need the services and they need help. Sometimes it might just be talking, right? Simple as that.
Thank you.
Yeah.